When people would ask, what do? I would tell them, I sell the American dream. I smuggled a whole bunch of illegal immigrants into this great country, and we most definitely made it great again. A couple fraternity guys, this little girl worked at Hooters. We have a look that is not suspicious. That's just our smuggling squad. I had this empire. We ended up trafficking like a couple thousand people. It wasn't enough. This was the pivot point on when it was good to when it went really, really bad. I didn't know it was as hot as it was. It's like, oh my God, are they starting a war with me or what? Fresh, dog. My name is Maxwell Bocanegra, and I smuggled a whole bunch of illegal immigrants into this great country. And we most definitely made it great again. I grew up in South Texas, Corpus Christi, most definitely raised by non-smuggler parents, church, school, obedience, yes ma'am, no ma'am, all the nice, normal things that American parents would want for their kids. Both my parents were Mexicans. I was raised in America. My parents didn't teach us Spanish, but we did eat tortillas and tamales, and we had hot dogs and hamburgers. You know, you gotta be more Mexican than Mexicans and more American than Americans. As a kid growing up, I always felt that I was an ambitious person. I think a lot of it has to do with my dad and how he raised me. He would take us to Oregon and buy a whole bunch of Christmas trees, and we'd sell them on the side of the road. We'd go to Mexico and buy statues and sell them on the side of the road, and like always flipping things and buying and flipping it, and like that was our family business. He most definitely raised me to be an entrepreneur, and it's like at a young age, I was taught that, and I never stopped. Like the ambition never went away, even in prison.
This young man has always been a go-getter. He's just always thinking in advance. For him, it's always about the next step. You know, you gotta build a foundation, and you build on that foundation, and you take the next step and the next step. That's the way it works. Max is not like that. He likes to take this leap, you know, jump to the next thing before it hasn't even gotten there, which we all know that's not good.
Max is my energetic cousin, wild child, literally. Can't control him. Hey, come here. Yeah, okay, I'm on my way. Not.
Julio's my first cousin. He's the one that sparked me up weed for the first time that I got in trouble for in 7th grade.
He was kind of scared about it. What do I do with this? Which side do I light up? I'm like, man, just choose a side, bro. He figured it out. Ever since then, he's been lighting the right side.
Corpus Christi is on the Gulf of Mexico, beach town. There's a lot of little college students running around, surfers, party animals, people that smoke weed, hanging out. It's like spring break, drink all day.
We have a huge university, so it draws a lot of people from all over. Really, the girls just come down there to find the party, find Max. He's on marker 125 at the beach, throwing a party again.
I always have a passion for photography my whole life. And I created a following of models and good-looking people and clubs and stuff at an early age because back then, not everyone had a camera and everyone wanted cool MySpace photos. Things just started coming my way. It wasn't making a lot of money, but I was really loving what I was doing.
As Max graduated, our relationship grew further and further apart. He started to get into photography, and then he was doing things that was just not acceptable. And I called him out on it. He didn't like the fact that I called him out on it. And our fight became really bad, and he had said I had crossed the line with him. He spoke with my husband that afternoon. He goes, son, you know how many times you've ever crossed the line and your mom still takes you back? He says, you get your crap and get on out of here. So he booted him out. Well, for a whole year, I didn't see him. What happened to this little boy that used to care for me?
I was a little sad, depressed, didn't really have a lot of cash. I was living at my buddy's house. That's when I met Miguel. He looked the part of a gangster. He most definitely had the shaved head, the tattoos. He would put on a suit, he would put on a tie. He would be as fresh as he can, but it's like, dude, you still got a bald head, brah. Like, my friends were all little surfer white boys, and like, he wasn't the college kid crowd, but I felt like a part of him wanted to be somewhat of that crowd. He liked hot girls, and sometimes he wouldn't be able to get them though, but I got them for him, so he loved me for it.
At first, I didn't like Max. I thought he was a little prick, to be honest with you.
Oh, he thought I was the baddest motherfucker in the world. He looked up to me so much, not just because he was shorter than me, but because he's like, dude, you got the personality, the swag, you could just go up and talk to anyone in the room.
He was like the crazy kid that's just always, you know, goofing around, acting out, just wild, obnoxious, crazy talk all the time, and you're just like, what the hell?
And he's like, well, I want to have some photo shoots of my own. He had this company called Ambition where it was real about showing off big booty girls and money. He's like, well, I want to do a campaign. I didn't really ask questions at the time. I was just like, shit, yeah, pay me.
Max is, he's like, yeah, we're gonna do this photo shoot, dog. Nothing, just a t-shirt on, just a bunch of money.
The photo shoots with Miguel, we had a white mattress on the middle of the dance floor, and we had the models in his clothing. He threw money all over them. I thought he was gonna get some like counterfeit money or something. He pulled out like 10 grand of hundreds. And I'm thinking like, what are you into, bro? I need to make some cash like this, dude. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Miguel would always be gone. He'd be in Houston, which is 4 hours away, and then he'd be right back home, and then he'd be back in Houston in that same day. And so I was all like, okay, I get it. And he's just driving cocaine to Houston. It's obvious. He has good coke, he has a lot of money, and he's not home. Like, it all makes sense. And we're smoking a blunt in the back, and this is like when it all happened.
He says, like, what's up, dog? Like, what are you doing? Like, I see you, you know, you getting money and like put me on payroll. Like, what's up, man? Like, I'm hungry too. Like, I want to eat.
As I fucking lighted it up and be like, I know you smoke with coke, and like started hitting. He's like, no, man. He grabs the blunt. He goes,
no, it's not even like that, man. We're moving people. We're moving people. We're transporting from A to B, and that's all it is.
it's human trafficking. I was all like, oh shit, like, what do you mean? He's all like illegals, passes a blunt back, and I was like, how much you get paid? And he's like, well, you could probably make like $2,000 starting off a day, 2,500 bucks. And I was all like, well, shit, I'm down to do that.
I'll tell you what, you want me to put you on? I have some friends. They're in South Furious right now. Just need you to pick them up, bring them to me. That's it.
And he's all like, yeah, when are you ready? And I was like, I mean, I'm always ready. And he's like, well, we could go like right now. And I was like, huh? And he goes, yeah, after this blunt, we'll leave. And I was like, really? I put it out and I'm like, well, yeah, let's go. And I just went into the car and I started following him. So he gave me the lowdown, keep a good distance, stay off your phone, you know, don't speed. You're gonna get further instructions when we get to the other end. There we were, headed south towards the border to go get my first load of illegal immigrants. And then like an hour later, the weed wears off and I'm like, what am I doing? I didn't wake up thinking I was gonna do this. I was like scared shitless because I had no idea what I'm doing. You hear the stories on the news that prep your mind into terror, danger, horrible things going on, cartels, your head's gonna get cut off. You know, it's just all this stuff that we see on media that paints the picture of a bad time happening if you smuggle. I pull up to this little ranch house and we could see the Border Patrol station. And there's like Border Patrols everywhere, just like nonstop looking, and it's just like really, really hot. Is it gonna be bad? Is it gonna be good? Who am I meeting? All these thoughts were running through my head on my first time smuggling. I started with like 2 people a day, and then we were bumped up to like 30 people a day. It wasn't enough. I wanted to get more and expand. Started doing some real shit. Falfurrias is most definitely a smuggling town. It's right next to the checkpoint. It is known for trafficking and storing stuff, you know, not just illegal immigrants, but the whole shebang of smuggling buffet. I pull up to this little ranch house with chicken coops in it, a couple of Mexicans outside working, and I'll just park in the parking lot. Big fat dude with tattoos all over his belly comes out and he says, "Hey, you ready?" And I was all like, "Yeah." He hands me a little joint. I take a couple hits. He says, "You're good?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm good." Miguel was in front of me. He gets about 4 people in his car and 2 people come into my car.
People come out, get in the cars, like, you know, like if I'm an Uber or a friend, and that was it.
I never brought anyone across the border. I never went south of a checkpoint. From what we did in our standpoint, in our realm, we got people on this side of the checkpoint and we took them to Houston, which is about a 6-hour drive. One was a 19-year-old girl and a 22-year-old boy. And I was all like, all right, yeah, this isn't scary. They look like normal people, just like, you know, the people I would hang out with. And I was all like, dude, all right, I'm so glad you're not like people that are gonna chop my head off. And they're worried that I'm gonna chop their head off because the stories that they hear about the smugglers leaving them, robbing them, raping them, that stuff does happen. It's just not gonna happen on my clock. And they see me, they're all like, who's this kid in board shorts and flip-flops? And I'm driving with my toe, you know? I was like, so where are y'all from? They told me, oh, from Monterrey. And they says, we're so glad that we feel safe with you because our parents saved up their whole life to make this trip. When he was 12, his sisters got raped and one of them didn't make it. In the streets when it happens, everyone looks away because nobody wants to go stop the bad guy because the bad guy has big guns. Their parents saved up a lot of money to send them on this trip. And I was like, wow, so y'all are just coming here because you were scared and all you want to do is work to pay back your parents to say thank you for not letting me grow up in a country where I'm going to get killed at any given moments for walking home from school. Just because we're on this side of the line doesn't mean I'm better than you on that side of the line. You know, I did feel like it was a connection, but not so much as because I'm Mexican and he's Mexican, but more so I'm human and he's human. You see these people and they are dying of thirst. Like, y'all all right? And they're all like, please, just water right now, water. Like, God dang, we're so thirsty. I was like, okay, we just got to get out of Falfurrias and then we can stop at a store. You get them a big old gallon. They weren't just like sipping water, they were chugging it. Seeing the satisfaction on their faces was a big payoff because if they went a little bit longer without getting this water, they could have died. You see somebody really appreciate food and water, it makes you feel good about yourself. It's like, yeah, I just saved your life by giving you this stuff. And I was balling. I didn't give them no dollar burgers. We're getting Angus big beef, baby. You know what I'm saying?
My parents have a ranch in outer skirts of Corpus Christi. Little cabins and trailers there. So we use that as the stash spot, like a pit stop.
I pull into another house and they get out of my car and walk in there. And then I drive home and there's money waiting for me. There was no scary or sketchy situations. It's I pulled into a house and I drove to another house. So what did I really do wrong besides save some lives, you know? Call me Robin Hood. It was the first time I did it and I felt like, yeah, this is most definitely what I need to do.
When Max was maybe in the 2nd grade, we took a trip out to the valley where we picked up some palm trees for a landscaping job. We stopped off at this little convenience store, and my husband noticed a man there with this young lady, and it was hot, and they were exhausted, and the man looked so lost and confused. So my husband had asked him, "What's going on? You know, how can we help you with something?" And the man had said, "Yeah."
Oh my God, I totally forgot I was an immigrant smuggler as a child. They were like, "Hey, do you have some water? We really need help." My dad, "Oh yeah, and like, I'll take you where you need to go, just get in the van."
The gentleman gets a loud whistle, and out of these bushes came all these people. There must have been at least 15 people. And they crowded up in our van, and you know, you could feel the heat of their body. They had been out there for days. And my husband takes off, and I kind of just look at him and think, are we like doing wrong? They said they had family in Houston. We loaded them up, put them on a bus, and sent them their way. What was a crazy time.
Yeah, when it comes to Max and putting him on board, definitely created a monster. He was annoying as shit at first. He's like calling me up. "So what's up? Like, are they ready? What's up? Like, can I go now? Like, you know, how many you got?" Like 2-3 times a day. He just didn't get it.
I was like, "Dude, I could use another $2,000. Let's do it again." And we did it again and again. I only started with like 2 people a day, and then we were bumped up to like 30 people a day. I want to say it was probably like about a year into it that I wanted to like get more and expand. My ADD kicked in. It wasn't enough. We need to move forward, like start doing some real shit. A state trooper randomly pulls me over, and it is, "You're looking at 10 years. About a year into it, when people would ask, "What do you do? Like, how do you have all this money?" I would tell them, "I sell the American dream." I'm giving people opportunities to have the same opportunities that we have. And they're all like, "Dude, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Can you just tell me?" Like,
Max was definitely spending a lot more money than usual. Whenever you call him and, "Hey, where you at?" And we're just go get something to eat. "Yeah, I would, but I'm in Vegas." "What do you mean you're in Vegas? You were just here yesterday." I'm thinking to myself, what is this kid doing as broke as he is?
Julio got involved because he didn't have a lot of money, and he saw that I did, and he wanted the money. I didn't have to hide it or water it down. I let him know, like, "Hey, this is what we're doing." And he's like, "I'm in, sign me up."
I was raising my family. I had a good job in oil refining industry, but I knew it was extra money. To this day, I still haven't met a person who isn't into extra money. Welcome to the Americas. I'm your Uber driver.
I wanted everyone around me to be doing good. My best friend was Steven Slider. We met because he was banging some chick and I was banging some chick, and they were roommates. And so like whenever we were done, we'd smoke bowls in the living room. He was like on that 10-year college plan. His like Facebook name was Van Wilder. He was living on the couch with a friend of mine, and it's like, "All right, dude, you just got fired from your job, you got evicted, you know, you need a place to stay for a couple weeks to get your feet down," you know what I mean? And I was like, "Look, we could give you a place to stay for free. All you gotta do is watch a couple of illegals." And he's like, "What do you mean?" "Just sit here and make sure these people don't leave." That motherfucker couldn't even do that right. They all walked out the door, and he's all like, "Well, what am I supposed to do? Close the door, tell them not to leave."
I'm doing really well. I got this reputable business, and Max is trying to bring in these goofy kids. You know, he's just bringing like whoever just to be like, look, we can do more, we can keep expanding. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? Really? This is what you're bringing me? You know?
Recruiting people was pretty easy. Everywhere I went, I had bottles in the trunk, blunts on deck, blow in the pocket. I show up to parties and I'll just pop 2 or 3 bottles and I'll make like a big round of badass shots for the whole party. College kids, they don't really have money to be doing that. I would just show them a lifestyle of badass ballin' shit. And they're like, dude, what do you do? What do you do? And I was like, you really want to know? Yeah. Come to my apartment and we'll smoke a blunt. Like, so I fucking started, smoke a blunt and you start driving. They'd come over, I'd smoke with them, so I know that they weren't cops. And then I was like, yeah, dude, I'll give you $500 a person. Miguel and I kept part of the percentage for all the drivers. This one dude was riding a skateboard to school because that was his only vehicle. He works 1 shift with me, quits his job, and buys a BMW. You work 4 days, you know, you got $10,000 in your pocket. That's like what some of these kids make all year. The college kid scene, that's who was our smuggling squad. There was a few precautions we would take, making sure that the car wasn't a suspicious car. You don't want cars on rims or anything flashy. It needs to be little Jeep Liberty or something that you would buy your college daughter. And we would tint it. We have a look about ourselves that is not suspicious. A couple fraternity guys, this little girl worked at Hooters. These other dudes with the bald heads and tattoos across their forehead that says, I'm a smuggler. Yeah, they look the part of it, you know? We don't, so we could get through checkpoints undetected. And I think we ended up trafficking like a couple thousand people when it was all said and done.
Well, for a whole year, I didn't see him. Not knowing what was happening with him every weekend, it was like, am I gonna get a call at 3 in the morning? What is he doing? And I would ask my sons, have you heard from Max? And my sons were like, no, Mom, you know, we think he's doing drugs. And I'm like, oh my God, what is he doing?
My parents didn't know anything about it. I even used a couple of their cars to smuggle without them knowing.
I remember this one day just saying, God, whatever it is, just take care of my boy. If you have to put him in jail, put him in jail. You know, but just don't take his life.
At the peak of it all, I would say the most I made in a day was about $12,000, $15,000, and we'd spend about $12,000, $15,000 partying.
I was under a lot of pressure, timelines, deadlines, the wilding out, the parties and the spending. That almost seems necessary, kind of like leveling off, balancing out, you know.
I want to blow it and have badass times. Yeah, we did make a lot of money, but we blew it. Strippers are expensive.
I remember one time, like, going into a party and there's a 55-gallon drum of weed. Right next to it, there's another 55-gallon drum of weed with 2 girls dancing on top of it.
There was this one time I had a party at my apartment and had a big popcorn bowl full of popcorn, weed, a whole bunch of drugs, alcohol galore. And out of nowhere, I get the call and it's like, oh, they're ready? I go to the back room and I open the door in the apartment and like 8 Mexican people matching brand new white shirts come out. And everyone was just like, where are all these people coming from? Like, they've been here the whole time? Jump back over the couch and they're like, Max, what the fuck is going on here, dude? And I was like, what do you mean, bro? They're like, a whole bunch of people just came out of your room. I was like, they came out of where? I didn't see anybody. Like, you're stoned, dude. I was driving, I had 2 people in my car. It was just another normal lick. And the state trooper randomly pulls me over for not having a blinker when I'm staying in the same lane. Right away, he's all like, take your keys out of the car, put them on the hood. He said something in Spanish to the guys, and he got everyone out, and within a second, all these Border Patrol cars came in. And they're all like, so where are you going? And I just stayed quiet, and he says, like, where are you headed? And I was like, dude, I want to get a lawyer. And he's, you're looking at 10 years. We get in the car, we rush off, and a state trooper pulls behind me. This is it, I'm about to end my life. And I'm going to prison forever. Oh, yes. We had the best story ever, and it was, I want a lawyer, no further questions. The state trooper randomly pulls me over, and he's, you're looking at 10 years. And I was all like, well, I'm looking at the back of a cop car, that's what I'm looking at, and I can't really see 10 years, so leave me the fuck alone. They take me to the station, I wait in the little cell for an hour, they pull me out, and I said, dude, I don't want to talk. And he's like, well, you're facing that 10 years, you're looking this and that. And I was like, dude, I'm not facing 10 years, I'm facing your ugly face, bro. And he says, all right, well, you know what? Go ahead and get out of here. And I start walking back towards my cell, and he says, no, go out the door. Here's your keys, here's your wallet, here's your phone. Get the fuck out of here. And I'm like, huh? The people I was smuggling got deported, and I never seen them again. I had no registration, no insurance, and I got no tickets. You know, it should have scared me, but I was like, dude, this shit really works. Just shut up. I would most definitely tell everyone, look, they're gonna tell you you're looking at 10 years, and yes, you are looking at 10 years. If you decided to drive off really fast and run from the cops and then get in a wreck and endanger them, you could be facing 10 years. But if you have 5 people or less in your car and everyone has a seatbelt, there's no drugs, no guns, and you have no priors, you are looking at 0 to 6 months in jail. And majority of the time, they're just gonna let you go. But you can't tell no one, because the moment you say, yes, I'm a part of this guy, and then you add one more person, and then now you have 6 and he has 6, and it's a conspiracy. Some homies of mine were like, dude, I want to go to Vegas. And I was like, all right, well, let's go. Vegas was actually a really big turning point through my whole plot. This was like the pivot point on when it was good to when it went really, really bad. We went and we most definitely lived it up. I think I spent like $30,000 in that weekend. Not like, hey, I just bought this car. No, I blew it up my nose and nothing to show for it. You know, we're on our last couple of days in Vegas. I'm rolling dice. I'm like down $7,000 and like I need to get my money back. And my phone's about to die. I get this call, hey, we got a load tonight, we need to do it. And I already spent a lot of money, so I was like, yeah, I need to have it, like for sure. And he's all, well, find me a driver. So I called Slider, my roommate, and he's all, dude, I don't know, kind of scared, but my friend Jake, he'll go. And I was all like, oh, all right, fucking send him. My phone's about to die. Give Miguel the number, tell him what to do, you know, he knows the route, do it. And he only done it twice with me before, and we never really like schooled him and broke him in, like, hey, don't talk, don't do this. You know, he just got his car tinted. Like he was just on the very beginning stages of smuggling.
I was really pissed when he brought me Jake. He just shows up to my house, knocks on my door, where I don't want like really no one knowing where I live. He just barges in. There's like a couple of grand laying on the desk and a gun. And Jake's like, oh my God, I was like, is that yours? And yeah. He looks like he just came from, you know, Boy Scouts. I was a little worried.
We do the rest of our drugs, get on the plane, pass out. And then I wake up back in service, charge my phone. Jake's not answering his phone. Miguel calls me, he's all, dude, probably stay off your phone. Jake's not answering. Don't make no phone calls. Just get home.
Why the fuck is this kid missing? I know my people. We're not in the business of kidnapping or extorting, so it just wasn't adding up.
We couldn't find him. We all kind of took a little silent break. And it wasn't until a week later when he messaged Slider on Facebook saying, hey, I got arrested, but don't worry, I'm not taking no one down with us. But they are watching me, so it's best if we don't talk or hang out. And after I heard that, I was like, okay, cool, he's not dead, and he's not ratting on no one. And so we're good. So we started running. Started doing runs, making some money, but I didn't know it was as hot as it was. A week later, Slider and I were sitting on the couch taking bong rips. We were watching Border Wars or some kind of show of that nature. And that episode, the police were watching this dude who they knew was smuggling, and they're watching him from a hidden camera. And I was like, look at this dude. They're watching him, and he doesn't even have no idea he's about to get popped. And Slider's all like, yeah, that could be you, bro. And I'm just sitting there waiting for my phone to ring for me to go. I knew I had to run that night, but I just didn't know when they were gonna get in for sure. And I'm watching this show like, how oblivious is this guy not to know that the feds are watching him? Like, what the fuck? You know, and they, sure enough, they pop him, the show ends, and I get the call. I pull up, we smoke a joint. These people come out, they're a little rushed. He's like, hey, come on, get in there quick. Like, we can't be hanging out too long, smoke that fast. We get in the car, we rush off, and we're driving. And the state trooper pulls behind me. And when you see a straight trooper, your butthole gets tight. So boom, I'm driving straight now. I make sure everything's to the T perfect. Then he pulls me over, and I was like, this is it, I'm about to end my life. And I'm going to prison forever.
There's Border Patrol, there's sheriffs, the whole Valfurious police department, and I'm just thinking in my head, fuck, I'm gonna be on Border Wars or some shit.
So there I was on my last run of my life, and a state trooper pulls behind me. And this wasn't just like a normal pullover like it was before. They came deep. They pulled out big old machine guns, helicopter from the sky. It's like, oh my God, are they starting a war with me or what? And I'm going to prison forever. And I see that somebody had a camera. It was a Mexican cops show or something. And I was like, they're following me just like on that episode. That same day, they arrest Julio, then they arrest Miguel.
I got pulled over and 3 or 4 cop cars behind me, pulling me out of my vehicle at gunpoint.
Next thing I know, there's Border Patrol, there's sheriffs, the whole Valfurious police department, and I'm just thinking in my head, fuck, I'm gonna be on Border Wars or some shit.
I knew at that moment that this is it. It's just like you're kind of seeing yourself die. This lifestyle that was an illusion and a dream, you're just now waking up. So I went down because of rats. Jake got arrested, and he was actually looking at time because he had 6 people in his car. And so they said, you're gonna do time unless you tell. And so he started telling, which is okay, understandable. You're looking at doing time, you telling someone to not do time. Slider was not looking at time. Slider went off the deep end and started telling about all kinds of stuff. Jake knew of the illegal immigrant smuggling. Slider just saw me coming home with large amounts of weed and like all this money. And he's all like, he's probably smuggling for the cartels and bringing all kinds of shit. I was like, I don't sell weed, dude. I have enough weed to give away. And I was like, oh, dude, you're telling on me, bro, aren't you? And he goes, dude, Max, you fucked my life up. Like, I could be looking at getting a felony. My girlfriend's about to break up with me. And I was like, dude, I'm about to go to prison and be someone's girlfriend. What the fuck, dude?
So while I'm still waiting in county, I find out through, the court process that they do know just about everything. I can either plead guilty or fight the case. My lawyer is like, dude, don't fight the case because they're gonna throw the book at you. They could reduce my time if I testify against, my higher ups and find me, find my family, putting my family at risk for a little bit of less time. Nah.
On a conspiracy, the feds are able to gather all kinds of evidence that they had on others involved and point it on me. I transported maybe a dozen people. My charges against me were transporting 300 to 1,000 people, and I did time for it.
My real court date, when I go there, I'm in shackles and I see my mom crying in the back, and I had one shot. Like, they already put all this stuff on me. I pled guilty. This was my time to talk directly to the judge. I told him, Your Honor, I just want to start off this statement by saying thank you. I want to thank the agents for doing such a good job that got me out of this life of smuggling, because I would have just only been in more in depth in it, and I don't know where it would have ended up. Your Honor, I could only pray that you give me a fair sentencing. So with that being said, that's my plea to you. And he says, well, unfortunately for you, none of that matters. You're going to prison. I'm gonna make an example out of you. I'm gonna give you 40 months. Well, Mom, I'm not coming home today. I'm not coming home for another 3 years.
That night, I finally get a phone call, and it's Max. And he's just telling me, Mom, I'm sorry. Mom, I'm sorry. I got 40 months, Mom. And he says, I could do 40 years, but I can't do what I did to you. I can't take what I did to you, Mom. I'm so sorry. I said, son, I'm okay, son. I can take this. We're gonna walk this through together. We're gonna do this thing together. It's gonna be okay. I'm so proud of you, son. And I hang up and I'm on my knees. And I tell God, thank you. He loves me. He loves me. He hadn't loved me. I need to take a breath. I need to just walk.
Take a break. Take a break. You get out there and get tissue.
No.
Go get your...
When I got to speak with Max in jail, I said, Max, how do you do this? I don't think it would have bothered me if you gave an illegal alien a ride to Houston. I do get bothered by them paying you to do what you're supposed to do. These people are trying to make a life and a home. You don't prey on people's desperation. You don't do things like that.
Going to prison, it was a really big learning experience for sure. I never thought I'd be like, oh, well, now I appreciate my parents, because I thought I always did, but I didn't. How piece of shit of me to go on through the rest of my life not really appreciating my family. How piece of shit of me to go on just treating girls like hoes. You don't stop and appreciate when someone's good to you because you think you have it all. Anyone that says that I have more money than you, I'm better than you, you have issues in your life. And there's something that needs to change in your life for you to realize your level of success isn't about how much you could throw away, but how much you have to give. Going to prison was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. Because I come out and I'm stronger. Look at me now.
When it comes to being in there and thinking back on the whole operation, I wouldn't have changed anything. I would have never even quit if it didn't go down the way it did. Wouldn't have changed anything. And the only thing I regret is the time I spent away from my family. Time lost that I'll never get back. It's the only thing I regret.
These college kids admitted to being part of this illegal activity, got off the stand and was able to walk out of the courtroom free. Before all of this, I have a career and I'm traveling all over the United States, doing what I love to do and earning an income. That all disappeared and I'm still unable to get back on track to my career to this day.
If I had the opportunity to do it all again, the only thing that I would change is I wouldn't hire anybody else. I most definitely feel guilty for getting Julio involved. It was me that offered him the job, and I'm not saying like he didn't have no free will or he could have got out, because he most definitely did, but I gave him that opportunity to do it. Him going away and me going away, yeah, it sucks, but we all are adults making our own decision, and in the end, we all have to pay for our own price.
Max comes out, the gate shut, I grabbed him, and we ran out together, and we didn't look back, because we were holding on to what was the future. This was our first Christmas together, and the kids were just going in and out of the house looking for stuff. They wanted a bow tie, they wanted a suit. They were up to something. When they were younger, I had taken them to a store to go have their photo put together. And boy, it was a time to get them together to all smile at the same time and stuff. So the guys, they all got together that first Christmas, and they all dressed themselves exactly to match that picture in the same pose.
Since being out of prison, I got back into doing photography, videography. I shot for the mayor of my city. I shot for the district attorney. I branched off into filming yachts, living life on a yacht, and fishing every day, doing what I love to do. When I say I'm gonna do something, I do it. When they gave me money and I told them I'm gonna drive them to Houston, I drive them. And I made sure that they got there. When they gave me money to do a shoot, I go and make sure to show up with my cameras and shoot it. I think I did somewhere like 1,000 to 1,500 days in prison. They said I did between like 1,000 to 1,500 people. So I think of it as I did one day in prison for someone to have a new, better life. And I think everyone should have that same mentality, because despite the legal circumstances or what you believe in or who you voted for or anything like that, we're all human. And we all literally deserve the same opportunities. Why are these people that live on this side of the street eligible to get shot and killed and nobody care about, but on this side, if you're white with colored eyes, the whole world would freak out if you go missing for a day because you're hanging out at your boyfriend's house? In the end, it's like who lives, who dies, and who tells your story. My story's being told on one of the largest networks in the world. You know, these other people that are sitting at home watching it on the couch, I encourage you to get off that couch and go do something worthwhile. You know, not necessarily saying do some shit illegal, but go do something that you normally don't do to like put a little mark on this earth. We're not put on this earth to just get by, you know?
Perfect. Thank you for stopping just in time for that siren.
Yeah, well, the feds are coming. They heard my story. They're like, hey, wait, I heard about you, bro. You told me some
I
shit.
got this on real quick. I was like, yo, I got him.
We got him now. We got him mic'd up and recorded everything. We got all angles. It's him.